Very good afternoon to every one of you. Is it my audio and video is clear to you all? So in the last class, we were seeing some of the mnemonics. If you can remember that in the last class, we were seeing some of the mnemonics. We have seen that how we can remember the various excretory organs in the various phylum in invertebrates. And also we have seen internal fertilization and also the external fertilization up to hemichordates. One more thing also, there will be a confusion related to the monoecious and also the dioecious. So for remembering monoecious and dioecious, we can easily remember for monoecious. So what you mean by monoecious? Both the gametes are present in the same organisms. Both the gonads are present in the same organs, or both the sexes are present in the same organism. So here, to remember the monoecious organisms, remember PC. You give any name to it, Priyanka Chopra. Priyanka Chopra and Priyanka Chopra are monoecious. So what is PC over here? Porifera, Nidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes. All are monoecious here. Monoecious means Porifera, Nidaria, Ctenophora and Platyhelminthes will come under monoecious or hermaphrodites. And another one you remember Amitabh Bachchan. Already I have told you about Amitabh Bachchan. Here you have Annelida. Annelida have both dioecious and also monoecious. So what are the monoecious example? Monoecious example are earthworm and leech. Whereas dioecious, the example is Nereis. So you have in Annelida you have both the sexes are there. Monoecious are there also, dioecious are also there. So Amitabh Bachchan. So Priyanka Chopra, monoecious. Amitabh Bachchan, both monoecious and dioecious. Remaining after this, whatever are there, they all are dioecious. What are those? Aschelminthes. Take away Annelida. After Annelida is Arthropoda, then Mollusca, then Echinodermata, then Hemichordata. So these are all comes under dioecious. So this is the easy way to remember which phylum are the one which are going to fall under monoecious type of organisms and which type of organisms which will fall both hermaphrodites and also the dioecious. Monoecious and dioecious, that is only Annelida, and which are exclusively dioecious. They are Aschelminthes. The remaining, whatever the which we have listed in the monoecious and monoecious and dioecious by in Annelida, removing them all Aschelminthes, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. Please take down. So these are some of the techniques by which you can easily differentiate between the various confusing characteristics which are related to the invertebrates. So you can make use of these mnemonics for easy identification and which can be helpful in opting a right option in the given questions related to these topics. So now we have completed about discussing about the characteristics features related to the various phylums of invertebrates. Now let us go to the chordates. The word chordates is because of the presence of notochord. Already we have discussed presence of notochord. Apart from notochord, there are other characteristic features which are very much important diagnostic characters which are related to the chordates. They are notochord, hollow, dorsal nerve cord. What kind of nerve cord you come across in non-chordates or invertebrates? Can anyone tell? What kind of nerve cord you come across in chordates or non-chordates or invertebrates? Double solid ventral. Double solid ventral. And one more thing you add over here. It is ganglionated. In invertebrates, or non-chordates, the nerve cord is ganglionated, whereas in chordates it is non-ganglionated, especially the central nervous system. The central nervous system in invertebrates, it is ganglionated in case of invertebrates. In case of chordates, it is non-ganglionated. The other important feature which is differentiates the chordates to non-chordates is presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits and presence of post-anal tail. Presence of post-anal tail. When it comes to be the notochord, as we have discussed, notochord is mesodermal in origin. This is present between the gut and also the dorsal nerve cord. So this is what this structure is, the notochord. This notochord is not going to be as a notochord throughout the life in all chordates, but it is going to be present in some part of the lifespan of the chordates. It may be present as a notochord throughout the life, or persistent. We use the word persistent notochord. It may not be persisting as a notochord. Notochord may be converting into a vertebral column. So all chordates are vertebrates. All chordates are vertebrates, but all vertebrates are not chordates. Why? Because all chordates have notochord, but all vertebrates are having the notochord converted into vertebral column. So what we can say, all chordates are vertebrates, but or whereas all vertebrates are not chordates. What do you mean by all vertebrates are not? Because all chordates are not going to have the vertebral column, but all chordates are vertebrates, because in any you take any vertebrate which is having a vertebral column. Vertebral column is the metamorphosis of notochord itself. That means in the vertebrates, in some of their lifespan, like in an embryological stage, at least the notochord will be present. And all vertebrates are not chordates, because all chordates are not going to have the vertebral column. They may be having the notochord as a persistent notochord, but not converting it into vertebral column. So this is what you can understand regarding the notochord. It is mesodermal in origin. It is present between the gut and the nerve cord. Already this diagram I have made you, so you may knowing about it. I will just give all the this labelings in a form of diagram. You can take down these points. Invertebrates or non-chordates are not going to have the tail. The tail is a characteristic feature of chordates. So if you can remember the diagram which we have made some time back. So this is the dorsal nerve cord. Dorsal nerve cord is ectodermal in origin. Notochord mesodermal in origin. This is gut. This is post anal tail. This is mainly meant for wherever the persistent tail is there in those organisms. It is helpful for balancing. And near the region of gut, you have the pharynx. The pharynx are helpful for two things. One is for respiration and also for filter feeding. So this is the main. These are the main characteristics features of the chordates: presence of dorsal nerve cord, dorsal hollow nerve cord, which is ectodermal in origin, notochord mesodermal in origin. This notochord can be it is maybe persistent in the throughout the life, or it may present for a few phases in the during the life cycle, like in the embryological stage, and it may get converted into a vertebral column. And presence of pharyngeal pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits, which are meant for sneezing, is not related to corona. Dry cough, tastelessness, and you stupids. Okay, I don't want to talk all those things. Okay, respiration, pharyngeal gill slits, respiration and filter feeding. And as I told you, post anal tail is meant for balancing. Please take down. Sneezing is a very good response, is a reflex which will help you to remove any dust particles which are entrapped in the nasal chamber. And for COVID-19 people, sneezing won't be there. There will be a dry cough, tastelessness, and first of all, they cannot work. They will be bedridden with lot of high fever and body pains. Sneezing is not triggered by immune system. Sneezing is triggered by reflex action based on the dust accumulation. Let us differentiate between chordates and non-chordates, some important points. So first, presence of notochord. Here it is absent. Ventral heart. If it is present in the dorsal side. The heart is present in the dorsal side in non-chordates. Pharyngeal gill slits. These are absent in case of non-chordates. Endoskeleton is living, made up of bones and cartilage. Endoskeleton, if present, it is non-living. The endoskeleton, if present, it is non-living in case of non-chordates, but it is living in case of chordates. Exoskeleton is non-living. Example: horns, nails, hoofs, claws, etc. Here the exoskeleton undergoes shedding. Undergoes shedding means it undergoes ecdysis. It involves in metamorphosis. Shedding of exoskeleton leads to metamorphosis. Such phenomena is absent in case of chordates. In chordates, the exoskeleton undergoes shedding. Generally, it is made up of chitin. Whenever this chitin is going to shed off frequently in different stages of the larval stages, that is what is called as metamorphosis, which is not present in case of that phenomena is not seen in case of chordates. Chordates have the exoskeleton is non-living, but they are in the form of horns, uh, nails, hoofs, claws, etc. Still some more points are there. You take down the points still here. So presence of notochord in non-chordates absent, ventral heart in chordates, dorsal heart in non-chordates, pharyngeal gill slits are present, absent in case of non-chordates, endoskeleton living, made up of bones and cartilage. If present, they are non-living, exoskeleton, non-living, horns and thorns, etc. Exoskeleton is made up of chitin, undergoes shedding, which leads to metamorphosis. Portal system present, absent. Can you tell what are the portal system you can come across in chordates? What are the portal systems which you can come across in the chordates? Hypophacial, very good. Portal system, what is complete? What you are responding? Hypophacial, very good. Any other? Hepatic portal, very good. Any other? Renal portal system, but it is absent in case of humans, but it is present in amphibians. Renal portal system. Hypophyseal, hypophyseal portal system in hypothalamus, hepatoportal system, and renal portal system. Renal portal system is only present in amphibians, and it is absent in uh, other classes of chordates. Okay, portal system. The kind of respiratory pigment, the respiratory pigment which is present in chordates, it is only hemoglobin, whereas here it can be in the form of erythropoietin, the hemoglobin which is dissolved, which can be dissolved in plasma. Can you tell hemoglobin dissolved in plasma in which phylum of invertebrates? Annelida, very good. And there can be a different types of pigments like hemocyanin. Can anyone tell where you come across this hemocyanin pigment? Not in Echinodermata. In Echinodermata, there is no respiratory pigment. Cockroach, mollusca, very good. Ennarrarai, cockroach ennarrarai. Have we discussed in arthropoda presence of any respiratory pigment? The the respiration takes place by tracheal system. Tracheal system is directly in contact with the cells and tissues. So there is no requirement of any respiratory pigment in insects or in arthropoda. Hemocyanin is seen in mollusca. Okay, this is what else we can discuss? Yeah, about segmentation. Segmentation. What kind of segmentation you come across in chordates? Is it external segmentation or internal segmentation? Very good. It is internal segmentation. Here you have external also. Can you give the example of external over here in non-chordates? And internal also, external and internal also. So external, external, yeah, arthropods, external arthropods and external and internal annelids. External and internal annelids. In rest of the other organisms, segmentation is absent. In rest of the other organisms, segmentation is absent. Can you tell in which of the which of the phylums the segmentation is absent? Echinodermata segmentation is absent. Very good. Mollusca segmentation is absent. Very good. Hemichordata segmentation is absent. See, remember, segmentation is present only in Annelida, Arthropoda, and Chordata. Remaining all are absent. Segmentation is present in Annelida, that is both external and internal. Arthropoda, only external. Chordates, only internal. Next, after segmentation, yeah, as I told you, post-anal tail, it is absent. Post-anal tail is absent in case of non-chordates. Post-anal tail is meant for balancing. Next, cleavage is in case of vertebrates, in case of chordates, the cleavage is indeterminate. In chordates, it is indeterminate. Indeterminate cleavage, whereas it is determinate, except echinodermates. Except in echinodermates, the cleavage is determinate in case of non-chordates. In echinodermates, it is indeterminate, and all chordates indeterminate cleavage. And the source of what is that called as adenosine triphosphate, and another one is called as arginine creatine phosphate and arginine. Yeah. So the source of the resource for the formation of ATP for muscle contraction in chordates, it is from creatine phosphate. The creatine phosphate undergoes phosphorylation to give rise to ATP. Whereas in invertebrates or non-chordates, it is from arginine phosphate. Arginine phosphate is the source for the formation of ATP. And here also exception is except echinoderms. In echinoderms also, the source of for the formation of ATP is creatine phosphate in case of echinodermates. That is the exceptional case. So these are the various differences which we can list out in differentiating chordates and non-chordates. So this phylum Chordata can be divided into three subphylum. One is called as Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Euchordata. This Urochordata and Cephalochordata together also called as Protochordata. Protochordates also called as Acraniata. Acraniata or invertebrate chordates. In brackets, you can also write for notochord. Another name for notochord is Chorda dorsalis. In brackets, you write another name for notochord is Chorda dorsalis. If a question is asked, Chorda dorsalis is absent in case of Chorda dorsalis, is nothing but a notochord. So chordata, the phylum Chordata can be divided into subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata, which comes under protochordates, which are also called as Acraniata or invertebrate chordata. Invertebrate means there is no vertebral column. And another one is Euchordata. and they are called as acraniata because there is no formation of cranium. There is no cranium or head. Head itself is not there. No head. Please take down this.